Hey yogis, welcome. Glad you could join me for today's class of Okaiyoga. I invite you to take a seat, either on a block, on a blanket, folded towel. Make yourself comfortable in Sukhasana, easy seat. Crossing our legs, rolling our shoulders up and back. Welcome yourself to your practice today. I like to say the hardest part of class is over. We've made it here to our mat. Let's sit still. Take a deep inhale in through the nose. Just open your mouth and sigh it out. Deep, deep inhale in through the nose. Hold. Sip in a bit more air. Pause for 8. And open our mouth and sigh it out. Another deep inhale in through the nose. Pause. Sip in a bit more air. Hold for 8. Open our mouth and sigh it out again. Deep inhale in through the nose. Pause. Sip in a bit more air. Hold. And this time, let's exhale it out our nose. Deep inhales in through the nose. Deep exhale out the nose. Notice the navel moves towards the spine on every exhale, emptying the lungs completely. Softly close our eyes and take an inventory here where we are today. How's our body, our mind, our spirit? In today's sequence, we'll put a little extra emphasis in our quads, our hamstrings, our glutes. And if we have enough time, we'll work in some extra core work as well. In this and any class, if a pose isn't accessible to you, no big deal. Find a modification that works for you. If your balance is challenged in a standing pose, place the other foot down, no big deal. Let's make this your practice. You'll notice over time we'll build strength, flexibility, even balance through dedication to our practice. Take another deep inhale, feel the crown of the head lift up towards the sky, release the glutes. Spine is still tall and spacious. On the exhale, lower our chin down towards or to our chest. A couple deep breaths here, in through the nose, out of the nose. Inhale, start to draw our chin towards our right collarbone, towards the right shoulder. Then the chin draws a line up along the wall, up to the ceiling. And when we get to the ceiling, start exhaling down the other side as the chin goes towards the left shoulder, left collarbone, back to the chest. Inhale and exhale here. On the inhale, the chin draws a line towards that right collarbone, right shoulder, up towards the sky above our head, and exhaling down towards the left shoulder, down towards the chest. 2 more times. Slow rotation, drawing a circle with our chin. Pausing when the chin is back to center. Inhale, exhale. Inhale now, draw a line with our chin towards the left collarbone, left shoulder, up towards the sky. Exhale down towards the right shoulder, right collarbone, back to the chest. Inhale, chin points towards the left collarbone, left shoulder, up towards the sky. Exhale down towards the right shoulder, chest. 2 more times. Connecting breath to simple movement through our practice today. Next time we come down, pause here for another inhale, another exhale. Place our hands in our hip creases and start to make circles with our shoulders around our hips to the right. Feel the psoas pushing in to the base of the palm. Circle our shoulders the other direction. Let's Starting to create some movement in our spine, in our hips. Finding stillness. Take a deep inhale here. On the exhale, we're going to leave our right hand in our right hip crease. Take our left hand back behind us up on fingertips like a kickstand. Push into those fingertips. Feel the crown of the head float up, and on the exhale, the left shoulder opens up so slightly towards the wall behind us. Inhale, get tall. Exhale, open slightly. Draw the right sits bones, the right hip crease away from the right hand, then place the right hand on the outside of the left thigh. Inhale, a little leverage to get taller. Exhale, a little leverage to open up, just to where that edge is, not beyond it. Take a deep inhale through center. On the exhale, left hand on the left hip crease, right hand behind us up on fingertips like a kickstand. Pushing into those fingers, feel the crown of the head lift up. Draw the left sits bone away from the left palm. Then take the left hand on the outside of the right thigh. Inhale, get tall. Exhale, open. 2 more deep breaths here. In through the nose. Out the nose. Deep inhale, exhale, unwind. Let's roll the shoulders up and back and make our way onto our knees into tabletop. If you'd like to use a blanket for extra comfort for your knees, by all means, that's an option here. In tabletop, our wrist crease is directly below our shoulders. Knees are hip distance apart, slightly behind our hips. I like to tuck my toes so the balls of the feet are pushing into the mat. We'll take a couple rounds of cat-cow here. Hey Koa, thanks for joining class today. We'll start the movement from the tailbone, so the sits bone rises, the belly drops as we inhale, the heart waves forward, the gaze starts to come up, but the top of the nose is still looking down. On the exhale, we'll take cat pose. Moving from the sits bones, curling the sits bones down, the navel comes towards the spine. Our gaze looks down at our thumbs, then below our belly, then all the way back to our knees. Couple more rounds here. Initiate the movement. Inhaling, the sits bones rise up, the belly drops, heart waves forward. And on exhale from the hips, navel towards the spine, gaze below our belly, back to our knees. One more round. Inhale, find cow pose. Exhale, sink back to child's pose. Knees are separated, big toes touch, heart melts down. The next inhale, we move right back to cow. And exhale, up and back, downward facing dog. 2 more rounds like that. Inhaling, finding cow. Tailbone rises, heart lifts forward. Exhale, sinking back, child's pose, Savasana. Inhale, finding cow. Exhale, up and back, downward facing dog. Cow pose. Exhale, child. Breathe in, cow. Breathe out, downward facing dog. Let's pause in downward facing dog. Walking out the dog, bending one leg, straightening the other. Feeling some nice movement, opening up our calves, opening up our hamstrings. Push the ground away a lot, then put a bend in the knees, curl the sits bones up towards the sky, push into the hands a little bit more. Then extend the legs so the heels start to move down towards the ground. Hamstrings are moving away from us. Push into the hands to see if you have a little bit more space as the sits bone reaches up even higher. Our gaze is down at our toes. Our head is relaxed, nodding our head yes, gently moving our head side to side no. Lowering down to our knees, taking child's pose. Knees are separated, big toes touch, heart melts down. Another deep breath here. And moving on into our warm-up, moving through tabletop, up and back, downward facing dog, floating the right heel up towards the sky, the right foot comes forward, left knee comes down, hands come up to our hips. We'll start to bend and straighten that front leg in a low runner's lunge. Anjayasana. The next time we come forward, let's pause here. Cactus the arms, shining our heart up towards the sky. Cross the arms across that front thigh, tuck the back toes and lift the back hamstring. The back heel moves away from us, draw the right hip back. Now notice what happens when we activate our front forearms, activate all 10 fingers, creates a little more space. Our belly's still touching that front thigh, yet it just somehow got lighter. If you'd like a little bit more here, you can lower and raise that back knee. You can always just come down to that back knee. Let's all lower the back left knee. Take the left fingertips, draw a line up towards the sky. The right hand, imagine we have a pocket on our right butt cheek. Slide that back hand into the pocket. Draw the right elbows towards the spine. Reach the fingertips up. Look up. Deep inhale here and exhale. Twist to our right. Palms come to touch. Top elbow floats up, so it's pointing down towards the bottom elbow. Right hip moves back towards the back of our mat. Activate that front or bottom tricep. Feel that lift. And breathe in through the nose, out of your nose. Maybe we turn our gaze up towards the sky or up towards that top elbow. If you like a little bit more, you can tuck the back toes, float the back hamstring up, the back heel towards the back of the mat, and open the twist ever so slightly more. Maybe you open your arms up here. Bring the palms back to touch, float the hands back down, and stepping back to downward facing dog. Take a deep inhale in through the nose. Open our mouth and side out. The next inhale, the left heel floats up towards the sky. Left foot comes forward, right knee comes down. Walking our hands up that front thigh to our hips, straighten and bend that front leg. Adjust the front foot so the knee doesn't come forward of the front ankle. Imagine our hips are square towards the front of the mat. Breathing that Ujjayi, victorious warrior's breath, in through the nose, out of the nose. Feeling tall and spacious as the crown of the head floats up towards the sky. The next time we come forward, let's pause here, cactus the arms, lift our sternum, lift our heart up towards that sky, settle back, bend, cross the arms across that front thigh, tuck the back toes, float the back hamstring up. The back heel moves away from us towards the back of the mat. Activate all 10 fingers, gently push into the front forearms, draw the left hip back in space. Continue to breathe, we don't hold our breath. There's a tendency to hold our breath when we're challenged. Here we're practicing creating challenging situations through the poses and practicing maintaining that equanimity of breath. If you'd like to lower and raise the back knee, you're welcome to do that here. Let's all lower the back knee, taking the right fingertips, draw a line up towards the front of the mat, up towards the ceiling. Left hand slides into that imaginary pocket. Left elbow towards the left spine. Notice that created the space to lift the top hand up. Deep inhale here, and on the exhale, we'll twist to the left. Palms come to touch. Top elbow floats up, maybe pointing down at the bottom elbow. Activate that bottom tricep. Feel the difference there. Tuck the back toes. Maybe we float the back hamstring up towards the sky, the back heel towards the back of the mat. Reactivate that tricep. Maybe that creates more space for a little bit more room in the twist. Deep inhale. Maybe if we did it on the other side, we play with opening up, playing with our balance. Palms come to touch. Hands come to the blocks. Stepping back to downward facing dog. Deep inhale in through the nose. Open the mouth and side out. Walking our feet towards the top of the mat. Standing forward fold. If you were using a blanket for your knees, I think we can move that aside right now. Moving forward, inhale, halfway rise. Exhale, standing forward fold. Inhale, circle the hands up towards the sky. And exhale your hands to your heart and release. Great job, yogis. Moving on, a couple sun salutations. Circling the hands up towards the sky. Open the palms, the thumbs are touching. Inhale, reach even higher. Exhale with a bend in the knees, pivot at the hips, standing forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift, drawing the crown of the head away from the hips, the shoulders away from the ears. Exhale, reach down to the blocks or to the ground, stepping back to plank, top of a push-up. Draw our shoulders forward of our wrists. Lower down slow all the way to our belly. Lift up the right foot, draw the right big toe towards the back of the mat. Lift up the left foot, draw the left big toe towards the back of the mat. Push into the tops of both feet so the knees float up. Curl our pubic bone into the mat. Draw the base of the palms back, the elbows towards the spine. Notice how that lifts up our nose a little bit up off the mat. Curl both heels towards our glutes. Tuck the toes, push up and back, downward facing dog. Turn our gaze towards our thumbs. With a bend in the knee, draw the shoulders forward over our wrist crease, either on the ground or on the blocks. Bend the knees a little bit more, put equal pressure into the hands and to the balls of the feet. Float, hop, jump the feet forward, and walk forward, standing halfway fold. Halfway rise, exhale, standing forward fold. Let's circle the hands up towards the sky and create a steeple grip here with the left thumb on top. In a steeple grip, fingers, index fingers are pointed. In a standing position with the steeple grip, feet about hip distance apart. Inhale, reach very high. And on the exhale, reach up and to the left, opening up the right side body. Draw our thumbs towards the back left corner of the room. Imagine the back of our neck moves backward, the chin floats up slightly. If our right hip is jutting out a lot, bring that right hip directly above the right heel. Reach even taller, even further back, breathing into that space between each rib on the right side of our body. Inhale back to center. Exhale here. Inhale, reach that steeple high. Exhale, reach over towards the opposite side. The fingertips, the thumbs move towards the back right corner of the room. The back of the neck moves back, the chin floats up, creating space. Maybe those fingers reach a little bit further away, opening up the side body. If the left hip is jutting out a lot, bring it back in line with our hips. Inhale to center. Exhale our hands to our heart. And release one more time, circling the hands up towards the sky. Open the palms, the thumbs are touching. Inhale, reach higher. Exhale, standing forward fold. Breathe in, halfway lift. Breathe out, reach for your blocks or the ground. Plank, top of a push-up. Inhale, push the ground away. Exhale, draw our shoulders forward of the wrist crease and lower down ever so slowly. Find your cobra by drawing the base of the palms back, the elbows towards our spine. Maybe a little bit deeper cobra here, the knees are lifted. Exhale, heels come towards our glutes. Pushing up and back. Downward facing dog. Bending both knees a lot. Drawing the shoulders above the wrist crease, maybe a little bit forward. Bend a little bit more. Walk, hop, float our hips forward. Find a standing forward fold. Halfway lift. Standing forward fold. Circling the hands up towards the sky. Exhale the hands to the heart. We'll do that steeple grip side opener one more time, circling the hands up towards the sky. Inhale, point those, let's change the grip. This time the right thumb over the left thumb. Interlace the fingers, index fingers reaching up, pointing up. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, reach over towards the left. Draw the right hip above the right heel. Point the fingers towards the back left corner of the room. Lift our chin, draw the back of our neck back. Really feel that space we're breathing into. The intercostal muscles opening up that space between each and every rib. Inhale, back to center. Exhale here. Inhale, get tall. Exhale, open up towards the right. Fingertips moving towards the top right corner of the room. Chin floats off the chest. Neck moves back in space. Fingers move away. Breathing into that left side body, feeling that space that you're creating. Allowing your lungs to be more efficient, giving them a little more room to breathe easier today. Inhale, back up to center. Exhale our hands to our heart. And release, roll our shoulders up and back. Moving on, I'm going to turn to the back of the mat. Make it a little bit easier to see in this standing series. Circling the hands up towards the sky, open the palms, reach even higher, bend at the hips, standing forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, reach down to the ground of the block, step back to plank, top of a push-up. Inhale, push the ground away. Exhale, draw the shoulders forward and come down. Inhale, up dog or cobra, yogi's choice. Exhale, up and back, downward facing dog. Inhale, right foot floats up, right foot comes forward, make our way to high crescent lunge, reaching our hands up towards the sky. And on the exhale, we'll bring the hands right back down, stepping back to plank, lowering down, up dog or cobra, downward facing dog. Left heel floats up towards the sky, the left foot comes forward, rising into crescent on the other side, reaching those fingertips up. Exhale, the hands come down, stepping back to plank, push the ground away, shoulders come forward, lower down, up dog or cobra, downward facing dog. Take 2 deep breaths here. Move towards the front of the mat. Walk, hop, step, float. Standing forward fold. Walk our fingertips a little forward in front of our toes so that the weight starts to shift into the ball of the feet. Halfway rise. Standing forward fold. Let's bring our hands back like airplane wings. Feel our chest on our thighs and slowly rise to chair pose. Look down, we should be able to see all 10 toes. Can we turn the palms towards the ground, or maybe even our thumbs towards the ground, palms towards each other. Triceps are active here. Hips are sinking back. Can we sit a little bit lower? Firing up the quads, the glutes, the hamstrings. Then let's slowly rise into a one-legged mountain pose. Hands come up, right leg floats up, right heel below the right knee. Our hands can be on our hips. Can we take a figure 4 position? Put a little bit of bend into the left, standing left leg. Put the right ankle on the left thigh. And start to sit again. We can use our hands. It might feel really good to place one hand on the outside of the right thigh near the knee, one on the outside of the left foot. We bring that left foot up. What tends to happen, our left hip jets out a lot. Can we draw that back to the center line? Even if we don't sit so low, it doesn't really matter. Sinking back, breathing in through the nose, out of the nose. A little bit goes a long way. Let's find one-legged Tadasana again, heel directly below the knee. Bring the hands to the heart. Then start to make airplane wings as we slowly reach the right leg back. Finding that high crescent lunge again. Left foot's forward, bent up to 90 degrees. Rolling the ball of the back foot. Arms are active, fingers reaching back, maybe even thumbs pointing down. Feel the top back of the arms really kicking in here. We're going to open up the right leg, finding our warrior 2. Front leg bent up to 90 degrees, back palm reaching up towards the sky, shoulders down, back tricep lifts even with the front tricep. Fingers are active, arms outstretched. Take a deep inhale here, and on the exhale, we'll slowly make our way to extended side angle pose, bottom hand reaching down, pushing back of the arm, pushing into the front thigh, top hands reaching up, breathing. From here, take a deep inhale, make our way into a reverse warrior. The top hand comes up, then place that top hand somewhere behind our head. Feel the pinky toe edge, that strong grip of the back leg. Maybe the right hand reaches up and grabs that top elbow, opening up that side body like we just did in our standing triangle pose. Or maybe you just grab, interlace the fingers, or maybe both hands reach up and you grab that wrist. Feeling the left leg start to burn, let's circle the hands, making our way to a low lunge. Take a couple deep breaths here. Maybe hop the back foot in a couple inches, float the right hand up towards the sky. Nice open twist in a low lunge. Open the top palm towards the front of the mat and circle the hand 3 times forward. Flip the palm and circle the hand 3 times backwards. Nice. Should feel great on the shoulder. Bring both palms on either side of the front foot. Take a deep breath here. Slowly rise to our crescent lunge. Take a deep inhale. And on the exhale, we'll twist towards the left. Activate that bottom tricep, draw the left hip back in space. Place the hands back on the ground, step the back foot in a little bit, not too much. The back foot's pointing out 45 degrees. Square our hips towards the front of the mat. Inhale, look towards the front of the mat, and exhale, melt down into pyramid pose. 2 deep breaths here. Gracefully, slowly start to bend that front knee. Come onto the ball of the back foot. Pray our hands in front of our heart and twist. If you get a little wobbly like I just was, separating the feet provides a firmer, stronger, easier foundation. But in yoga, we're practicing to fall with grace and smile. Can we breathe through the challenges in class? Frame the front foot, step the back foot in. Let's find pyramid pose again. Inhale the back of the head up. Exhale, melt our heart towards that front thigh. Bend the front knee, step the back foot back. Prayer our hands. 1 more twist. Frame the front foot, step the back foot in. 3 more breaths here. In our wide-legged or long-legged pyramid pose, draw the left glute back in space. You may feel it start to burn. Relax the back of the neck by letting the top of the head hang heavy. Gently nod our head yes. Gently shake our ears side to side no. With our hands on the blocks or the ground, come onto the ball of the back foot, float the left foot up in space, 3-legged dog. Lowering the foot down. Downward facing dog. Float our heart forward, up dog. Hips are lifted. We can be on the tops of the back feet. Top of a push-up. Lowering down, up dog. Downward facing dog. Walking our feet to our hands, standing forward fold. Deep inhale in through the nose, open our mouth and flutter our lips. Let's do that 1 more time. Deep, deep inhale in through the nose. Open our mouth and flutter our lips. Inhale, halfway rise. Exhale, lower down slow, circling the hands up towards the sky. And exhale the hands to our heart. Let's take care of the left leg here. Inhale the hands up towards the sky. Open the palms Thumbs are touching. Inhale, get taller. Exhale, pivot forward, standing forward fold. Inhale, halfway rise. Reaching down, stepping back, plank, top of a push-up. Draw our shoulders forward of our wrists. Lower down, up dog or cobra. Downward facing dog. Float the right heel up towards the sky. The right foot comes forward. We'll rise into Crescent Lunge. Floating the hands down, stepping back to plank. Lowering down, chaturanga. Up dog, downward facing dog. Left foot comes high, left foot forward. Crescent Lunge. Lowering hands down, stepping back to plank. Lower down, chaturanga. Up dog or cobra. Downward facing dog. Pausing for 2 deep breaths here. Let's all walk, hop, or even float our hips up to our hands. Standing forward fold, halfway lift. Standing forward fold. Bring the hands behind us like airplane wings. Turn the palms towards the mat, or even towards each other with the thumbs down towards the mat. Notice our chest resting on our thighs. Floating our heart up. Finding chair, Utkatasana, with airplane arms. Can we sit a little bit lower? Can we move our hips back towards the bottom of the mat? Can we lift all 10 toes, then slowly place them back down? From here, let's rise. This time, our second leg, our left leg, floats up to a one-legged Tadasana. Can we draw our right hip to the center line? The left knee's about even with the hip. The left heel's even directly under the left knee. Start to bend the standing leg. Place the left ankle across the right thigh. Sit back into a seated figure 4. Welcome to gently use our hands as braces to help the pose. Now my right hip goes way far out. Can I draw it back in space? Even if my left knee comes up, that's okay. But maybe with my right hand, a little support, I can draw my left foot up, right knee down, right hip in. A lot going on. Feel it in our glutes, feel it in our quads. I even feel it in my calf quite a bit. Let's find that one-legged mountain pose, Tadasana, Tada. Whew. Bring our hands first to our heart. Slowly, slowly step the left foot back, finding a high crescent lunge. On the ball of the back foot, front leg bent up to 90 degrees. We don't want that front knee forward of the front ankle. Airplane the arms. Turn the palms down or towards each other. Reach those fingertips away. Maybe palms pulse in towards each other a little bit. Let's flip the back foot, finding our warrior 2 on this side. Front knee above the front ankle, bent up to 90 degrees. Arms stretched out wide. Back palms pointing up towards the sky. Fingers spread wide. Shoulders up and back. Feel the pinky toe edge of that back foot really gripping the mat. Take a deep inhale here. On the exhale, let's all find extended side angle pose towards the front. The right tricep pushing into the right thigh. Top fingers reach up. Can we move those fingers so they're above the bottom hand? Feeling the burn in the inner right thigh. Let's reverse the warrior on a deep, deep inhale. Bending that top arm, maybe reaching that elbow, drawing it up and back, opening up the right side body a lot. Or extending both hands long. Maybe we grab the right wrist with the left hand. Still feel that openness that's happening on the right side body. Then let's all cartwheel the hands down. Finding a low lunge. towards the front of our mat. Float the left hand up towards the sky. Draw the right hip back in space. We can even tent our right fingertips if it's on the ground or the block. Maybe that feels a little bit better. Circling the left hand forward 3 times. Reversing. Slowly rise into Crescent Lunge. If we're feeling wobbly, all we have to do is separate our feet widthwise. A little bit wider foundation is easier to balance. Bring the palms to touch in front of our heart. Take a deep inhale here, and on the exhale, twist towards the right. Lift tricep on the outside of the right thigh. Activate that bottom tricep. Top elbow points down towards the bottom. Palms or point gently pressuring into each other. Maybe we turn our gaze sideways or to that top elbow or to the ceiling. Draw the right hip back towards the bottom of your mat. Frame the front foot with each hand, either on the ground or the block. Step the back foot in, straighten that front leg. Should feel really great as we find a long foundation, pyramid pose. The right hip's moving back in space. The front leg's very straight, yet it's not locked. On the inhale, the back of the head floats away from the mat. On the exhale, our heart melts down towards that front thigh. 2 more deep breaths here. Tadasana. Let's all bend that front knee so the knee is above the front ankle. Find the ball of the back foot, slowly rise into Crescent Lunge. Draw the right hip back in space. Inhale, get tall. Exhale, twist towards the right. Twisted prayer, high runner's lunge. Activate that bottom tricep. Draw the top elbow so it's pointing down towards your wrist, towards the bottom elbow. Frame the front foot, straighten the front leg, step in, half a hop. 2 more deep breaths here. Tadasana. One more time, we can do it. Bend that front leg. Come onto the ball of the back leg. Slowly rise into Crescent Lunge. Draw the right hip back. Inhale, get tall. Exhale, twisted prayer and a high runner's lunge. Frame the front foot with our hands. Step in, half a step. Back foot pointing out 45 degrees. Front leg straight without being locked. Inhale. Exhale, melting here. Great job. Notice the heat that you've created in your body. Using these big muscle groups creates more heat. So more blood is surging through these muscles. Let's come to the ball of the back foot. Floating the right foot up towards the sky, a 3-legged dog. I really feel that in my glutes. Oh my gosh. Beautiful. The hands on the ground. Come to plank, top of a push-up. Chaturanga, or meet back in downward facing dog. In Chaturanga, we come forward to low plank, up dog, up and back, downward facing dog. Nodding our head yes, shaking the ears side to side. Let's come down to our knees and find child's pose, Balasana. In child's pose, the knees are separated. Big toes touch, hips melt back down towards the heels. Heart melts towards the mat. We can even find the full expression of child's pose by placing the top of our hands onto the mat, back by our feet. Great job, yogis. Let's come through tabletop, up and back, downward facing dog. Walk our feet to our hands, standing forward fold, halfway rise. Lower down, standing fold, circling the hands up towards the sky, and exhale our hands to our heart. Release, circling the hands up towards the sky, the palms are open, the thumbs are touching. Inhale, get tall. Exhale, standing forward fold. Halfway rise, reaching down, stepping back to plank. Draw the shoulders forward of our wrists, lower down, elbows bend, up dog or cobra, downward facing dog. Float the right heel up towards the sky, the right foot will come forward. Now if notice this, our chest is really laying on top of our front thigh. Feels really good. So let's walk our hands forward. We can use the blocks or on the ground and find a modified warrior 3. So the right leg, the front leg, will be bent a lot so that our chest can maintain contact with the front thigh. The hands can be on the ground, the hands can be on blocks. The back leg, point the toes towards the mat, lift the heel up towards the sky, and draw the heel away from us. So the floating leg is very active. Imagine you're lifting the hamstring towards the ceiling, the heel towards the back of our mat. Draw the left knee in towards the chest, then slowly, slowly rise into another one-legged Tadasana. Draw the right hip into the center line by pushing firmly, especially on the right side of the front, the ball of the right foot. What may feel really good is to take our hands and interlace them under the left thigh. Square the hips. The leg can hang heavy into those thighs, roll the shoulders up and back. We don't want the knee too high, we don't want it too low. Even with the hips would be great, but that could be the goal, the direction we're moving towards. Lift up our sternum. And maybe we start to straighten the left leg and bend it 2 or 3 times. You can straighten and bend, straighten and bend. Release the thigh, reach the hands up towards the sky, and pivot forward to a standing half splits. Now in standing half splits, you can use the blocks. You can maybe bring your hands all the way towards the ground. The right leg can be towards straight without locking the knee, or it can be bent quite a bit, no problem. Wherever you are today is perfect. Let's all look back at the left foot. The toes tend to move towards the side of the room. Point the toes towards the mat. On the inhale, we're going to lift the heel towards the sky. And on the exhale, we're going to melt our heart even closer towards the right knee. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, melt. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, melt. Now, if you'd like, you can let the left foot come all the way back down into a modified crescent lunge. If you want to play with a little bit of handstand prep, I said prep, not handstand. One of the drills we do to get ready for a handstand, for the sensation of it, creating muscle memory, is with the right leg bent a lot. Come onto the ball of the right foot. Move the foot so it's in the center line of our body, not in front of the right hip. Place our hands flat on the ground, or they could even be on blocks. Straighten the arms without locking the elbows. Bend the right knee a lot. And all we're going to try to do is put equal pressure in the base of our palms and the ball of the foot, and just do little hops. The left leg isn't swinging up. The left leg, it's not dead weight, it's active, meaning the heel's moving away from us, the hamstrings lifting up, but there's no effort. We're just practicing getting our hips off the ground by gently pushing into the palms and into the ball of the foot at exactly the same time. Great job. A little bit goes a long way. Bring the left foot forward to meet the right. Standing forward fold. Halfway lift. Standing fold. Circle the hands up towards the sky. And exhale our hands to our heart. Let's release. Feeling the heat today. I hope you are too. Left side, circling the hands up towards the sky. Open the palms, reaching tall, standing forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, find your plank, top of a push-up. Inhale, push the ground away. Exhale, shoulders move forward to the wrist. Lower down, chaturanga, up dog, or cobra. Downward facing dog. Inhale, left heel rises, left foot comes forward. Feel our chest, our belly on the left thigh. finding our modified warrior 3. We're going to walk our hands forward. They can be on the ground, on the block. We're going to float the left heel up towards the sky. Left heel moves away from us. Point the toes down towards the mat. Hands can be on the blocks, they can be on the ground, they can be up towards our chest. Breathing, feeling the strength we're creating in our thighs, our hamstrings, our glutes, our quads. Place the hands on the ground or the block. Draw the right knee in towards the chest. Then slowly, slowly rise. Another one-legged Tadasana. Can we move the heel directly below the front knee? Can the knee be even with the hip? Playing with our balance, using our arms like the tightrope walker's balance pole. Interlace the fingers underneath the right thigh. Now the left thigh is going to want to sink and jut out. All you have to do is push into the mound below the left big toe and you'll get taller. The hip will move in towards the center line. Roll the shoulders up and back, lift our sternum, and maybe here we straighten and curl the right leg 3 times. Finding stillness, release the thigh, inhale the hands up towards the sky, and exhale, pivot forward. And we'll find a standing half splits on the opposite side, either with or without the blocks. The first thing in the standing half split, let's all look back the right foot, point the right toes towards the ground. Inhale, extend the heel away from us, lift the hamstring up, and exhale, melt our heart towards that standing leg. Inhale, reach higher, exhale, melt forward. Inhale, reach higher, exhale, melt forward. Great job, yogis. So lower the ball of the right foot to the mat. If you want to play with your handstand prep hops, what we would do is step the left foot into the center line of the body. Still feel your chest on that front thigh. Come forward onto the ball of that foot with the hands very flat. Maybe rotate the hands so the pinkies are pointing outwards a little bit. Bend the left knee a lot. Straighten the right leg. Shift the weight onto the ball of the hands. Put equal pressure on the ball of the hands, the ball of the foot, and just float our hips up. The right leg isn't wildly swinging, it's extending away. It's active, it's helping by being still and strong. Bending the left foot or left knee a lot. We just play with these little hops. And over time, you may just get stuck in a handstand. Once we do anything 1,000 times in yoga, 100 times in yoga, it starts to feel very different. Inhale, circling the hands up towards the sky. Exhale, the hands to the heart. Release. You will surprise yourself with the progress that you make through consistency in your practice. Setting the blocks out of the way, let's come down to our forearms. We'll skip the vinyasa. This has been a pretty warm series, I would say. Interlace the hands, tuck the bottom pinky finger in, float the hips up towards the sky, activate the shoulders by pushing into those forearms a lot, walk the toes towards the elbow, inhale the chin, 2 or forward of the thumb, and exhale, the ears back by the biceps. And rotate the thighs. Imagine the hamstrings moving towards the wall behind you, the heels moving towards the ground. And inhale forward, exhale back. Dolphin push-ups, you're welcome to do one leg up in the sky. And when you've had enough, come down to your knees, sitting on your knees, sitting on your heels. Let's all grab the fleshy part of our knees, the extra skin in front of our shins, forward and up. Roll the shoulders up and back. Maybe walk our hands behind us. Making it easier to lift one thigh, lifting the other. Maybe we lift both. If you have a levitation practice, you're welcome to levitate off your mat right now. I'm not there yet. Floating the knees back down to the ground. Walking our hands out in front of us. Tucking all 10 toes. If you'd like to use a block here, that's an option by putting both knees up on the block. Gets our knees in line with our hips. 10 toes are all tucked. Let's all flex 5 of the right toes and release. Flex the left toes and release. Flex all 10 toes and release. Maybe over time we start to shift our shoulders back in space, playing with our center of gravity, playing with our balance. By squeezing the thighs together, maybe it's easier to get taller and float the knees up, so we're just on the balls of all our feet. Pushing all 10 toes, holding onto the mat. Effort and ease. Let's walk the knees down, hands come in front of us. If you want to play with your pistol squat, muscle memory building exercise, you're welcome to do that here. With the blocks on either side of us, we come up onto that toe squat. We're on all 10 toes. You can keep the hands on the blocks right by the hips. Let's start to shift our weight into the right foot, the ball of the right foot, and the right hand on the block is holding us. Lift up the left knee, extend the foot. By keeping the thighs together, we center our center of gravity, making it easier to balance. Then let's all bring the left foot in. Thighs are pushing together. The weight starts to shift into our left foot and our left hand. Since this is new for us, the right knee comes up. Right heel moves out. Thighs are pushing into each other. And rotate the right thigh, gives us something to hold on to. Maybe we play with our balance and smile as we wobble and fall. Great job, yogis. Thank you for playing along. Let's move the blocks out of the way, come down, make our way into our bridge pose, Setu Bandhasana. In bridge pose, we're going to bend both knees so the feet are flat on the mat. Reach down, you should be able to just gently graze the back of the heels with our middle fingers. We're going to push into the heels a lot so the hips start floating up. We'll interlace the hands below our glutes, tucking the bottom pinky finger in, roll the right shoulder under, roll the left shoulder under, push into the heels even more. Notice your hips float closer towards the ceiling. Put the tiniest push in the back of the head, and your chin will move away from your chest. Now push into the heels and drag them towards your knuckles. You just got taller. Breathing in through the nose, out of the nose. Again, a challenging position is where we tend to hold our breath. Release the hands. Walk the right shoulder out, walk the left shoulder out, and slowly roll down from the top vertebrae of the back to the middle back to the lower back. When the sacrum's on the mat, let the knees fall in. Place the hands on the hip points and gently rock the hip points into our thumbs. Let's take a second variation of bridge pose. Push into the heels, float the hips up, interlace the hands, walk the shoulders beneath us, push into the heels, drag the heels towards the knuckles. Walk the left foot so it's in the center line of the body, meaning in line with the navel. Push into the left foot a lot. Float the right heel up towards the sky. Reach that heel up. Imagine the toes are pointing down towards your nose. If you inter-rotate the floating leg, maybe the knee moves closer towards your head, allowing you to push into that left foot, into the triceps even more, creating a stronger bridge. Gently push into the back of the head so the chin floats away from the chest. And when you're ready, lower the right foot down. Move the right foot into the center line of our body. Push into the right foot a lot. Float the left heel up towards the sky. Push into the right heel more. Notice your hips just floated higher. Curl the left toes towards your knee. Inner rotate the left thigh, push into the right heel, draw the left knee towards the top of the mat, push the heel away. Both heels are moving in opposite directions. Strong yogis float the left foot down to the mat. Release the hands and roll down vertebrae by vertebrae. You can extend your legs long here, rock and roll the heels, and take a 15-second Shavasana. May feel really great. If wheel or upward facing bow is in your practice, now is a good time. You're warmed up to take your wheel. In wheel, we start out just like in Tadasana or bridge pose. Middle finger grazes the heels. Reach the hands up towards the sky and open the fingers like starfish. Now slightly externally rotate your arms, then bend the elbows and place these wide hands by your ears, fingers pointing towards the shoulder or towards the outer edge of the mat. We're going to push into our hands and our heels at the same time, and we're going to stop and land on the crown of our head. So push into the heels, push into the hands, take a break on the crown of the head. I'm going to adjust my fingers a little bit. I'm still dragging the heels now towards my butt, towards my shoulders. I'm going to push into those hands a lot, attempting to straighten the arms, push into the heels, push into the hands, push into the heels, push into the hands. My head's hanging heavy, it's relaxed. My hips are floating up towards the sky. I'm breathing in through the nose, out of the nose. And to come out of it carefully, we don't land on the head. We tuck our chin to our chest and we look up towards the ceiling so much that when we slowly lower down, the shoulders are the first thing to land, then our upper back, then our middle back and our lower back. And grab the knees and bring them into our chest if you're in Shavasana or coming out of wheel pose. Great job, yogis. Circle the knees, massaging the glutes, the hips into the mat. Circling the opposite direction. Bringing the knees into the chest, slowly roll into boat pose, Navasana. In boat pose, the chest is lifted, the legs can be bent, the hands could be on the ground, they could be extended, the legs could be very straight. Let's gently grasp the back of our thighs, slowly lower down to our back, all the way down, extending the legs out long. We'll add in a little bit of core work today, giving our thighs, glutes, hamstrings a break. We'll do a supine variation on eagle pose and find a crunch. So in eagle pose, we're going to interlace our arms. The right arm goes over the left, grasping the forearms or the palms. If the right arm is over the left arm, the right leg is under the left leg. You could just cross your legs and be done with it here. Or if you have the full bind in your eagle pose, you take the second grip. We're going to take a deep inhale here, and on the exhale, crunch. We imagine our elbows are moving towards the knees. They don't have to touch. It's the direction, not the distance. Inhale when we go to the ground and exhale up. Inhale, exhale. When you've had enough, maybe you just pause, holding it, activated, crunching, holding that crunch on our abs. And when you've had enough, slowly lower down vertebrae by vertebrae, unwind, extend the arms down by our hips, extend the legs out long, rock and roll the heels side to side. Let's take the opposite eagle grip, Garudasana. In Garudasana, the left arm, if the left arm is over, finding either just crossed arms or the double bind. Left arm over, left arm under. You could just have the legs crossed. You could take the double bind, the right foot wrapped around the left shin. Take a deep inhale here, and on the exhale, rise, elbows move towards the knee. Still connecting simple breath to simple movement. Simple yet challenging. Pausing, holding a crunch for 3, 2, 1, and release. Unwind the arms, unwind the legs, rock and roll the heels side to side. Great job, yogis. A lot of core work happens through our breath work in yoga throughout the practice, but these specific exercises will bring a little bit more attention to our transversus, to our obliques, to our abdominis. Spin both legs, the bottoms of the feet are on the ground. Push into the feet, raise the hips, place both hands, palms down, thumbs touching underneath our glutes. Imagine our feet are up a wall. Let's extend the left leg long. Rock and roll the heel side to side. Push that left heel away from us. Maybe we walk our shoulders underneath us a little bit. And a 4 count inhale, we're going to lower the right leg towards the ground without touching. 1, 2, 3, 4. Point the toes, 4 count inhale. Toes go up towards the sky. Four count inhale, toes reach up towards the sky. 4 count exhale, heel moving down towards the ground. Left leg is active. And let's release the right leg all the way to the ground. Rock and roll the heels side to side. Re-engage our shoulders. Float both feet up towards the sky. Extend the right leg long. It's not wrong. You can't be wrong in yoga. Move that right heel away from us. And on a 4 count, lower the left leg towards the ground. Inhale. Exhale. Bring both feet back up the wall. Lower both feet together, slowly, 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 slowly. Hover the feet above the ground, push the heels away or point the toes. If the toes are pointed, inner rotate the inner thighs, pushing those big toes towards the top of your mat. And release it all. Push into our heels so the hips float up, the hands come out from under them. Let's all take a happy baby here. Happy baby, our arms are on the inside of our thighs, gently gripping the outer blade of the foot with each hand. Let the knees sink heavy. We could do half happy baby crunches here if you'd like a little bit more. All you do is release the left leg, so the left leg goes long. Bring the left hand behind the head. And now we're going to do little side oblique crunches. We're going to imagine we're going to take a deep inhale, and on the exhale, the left elbow moves towards the right toe. Inhale, open, exhale, close. Inhale, open, exhale, close. Inhale, open, exhale, close. 5 more. And release the right leg. Let the right leg go long. Shake the knees up and down. Bring the bottoms of the feet to the mat. Give both knees a little bit of hug. Find a happy baby again. Imagine the knees are getting closer towards the mat. Lower our sacrum, or point our heels towards the ground so the bottom of our lower back gets flat. Then draw the left foot up towards the sky. The right leg goes long. The right hand goes behind the head. We're going to take a deep inhale here. And on the exhale crunch, right elbow moves towards the left toe. Five more. Get it while you can. Maybe we pause and hold it up here. And release everything, releasing both feet, both legs long, rock and roll the heels side to side. Place both feet flat on the ground. Lift our hips up. Move them over towards the right a little bit. Draw both knees into the chest. And let the knees fall over towards the left side. Snap, crackle, pop. The right arm can be cactused or extended out like an airplane wing. Maybe we walk our left shoulder towards the left and the right shoulder can get to the ground. We really want the right shoulder on the ground. It doesn't matter how high the knees are up off the ground. Place the left hand on top of the right thigh. We're not pulling it down, just a gentle weight is helping to open the hip, the psoas. That side body that you started stretching in our first sun salutation gets its final little stretch here. And let's unwind, the knees float up towards the sky. Push into each heel, the hips get light and come off the ground. First we center our hips with our shoulders, then we push into the heels, drawing the hips over towards the left. Let the knees come up towards our face and then drop over towards the right. Maybe we walk our right shoulder in a little bit so that the left shoulder can become flat. Again, we want the left shoulder flat. The right knee, the left knee can be towards the ground, don't have to be on it. Maybe we take our right hand on top of the left thigh just for that extra weight. That's extra opening in our left side body. Turn our gaze towards our left fingers, our left thumb. Slowly, slowly start to unwind. Float the knees up towards the sky. When the feet are flat on the ground, float the hips up, square the hips to the shoulder, push the feet again, square the hips and the shoulders directly below each other. Let's extend our feet a little bit wider than hip distance apart. Let the toes fall out. Hands down by our waist, a little bit wider than typical in Shavasana. Open the palms up towards the sky. So I'll take a deep, deep inhale in through the nose. Open our mouth and sigh it out. Deep inhale in through the nose. Exhale out the mouth. Softly close our lips. Push the tip of the tongue to the roof of the mouth right behind the top two teeth, then let it relax. Wiggle your nose. Without opening your eyes, flutter your eyelids. Furrow and unfurrow your brow. Just like in bridge, put a little bit of pressure in the back of the head so the chin floats up. Maybe even walking the shoulder blades slightly closer towards each other. Now notice all the parts of our bodies connected to the ground below us. You've done all the work. And Shavasana is where you reap the benefits of your practice. Give yourself permission to heal, to sink as we relax into Shavasana. We'll be here for 2 minutes and I'll guide you out. Slowly start to deepen your breath. Bring some gentle movements to your fingers, to your toes. Softly roll your wrists and ankles. Inhale both arms to the ground beyond our head. Pointing our fingers, pointing our toes. Feel the space you've created in your body through your practice today. This is your space. Bend both feet flat onto the ground. Roll over to the right side if you'd like to create a little more energy as you wrap up your practice and get on with your day. If you'd like a little more grace and softness, roll over onto your left side. Using your bicep as a pillow, take 2 deep, deep breaths here. Place your top hand flat onto the ground in front of your belly. Close your eyes and tuck your chin to your chest and slowly push yourself up, finding your way to a comfortable seat, your shoulders floating above your hips. Take a deep inhale in through the nose. On the exhale, bow your chin towards your heart. With our eyes closed, imagine that light, that heat, that warmth, that energy that's burning within you, brighter than when you started your practice, helping you to feel better so you can help others feel better around us. Inhale the crown of the head up with pride. Feel the space between every vertebrae. Exhale humbly one more time, chin towards the heart. We'll seal our practice with one deep Om. Inhale for Om. Namaste, yogis. Thank you so much for joining this practice. If you want a little more core work, you can always stop the video and replay the core if you want to do that again. If there's anything you'd like to see in future practice, feel free to send me a comment under this video on YouTube. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to our YouTube channel by clicking the link, and feel free to share the Okaiyoga YouTube channel with any friends or family that could benefit from starting their own practice at home or adding a little bit of variety. Thank you so much. I hope to see you on a mat live and in person soon. But until then, this is where you find me. All right, take care, yogis.